Hello, Rebel, and welcome back to my life. Tomorrow is the American election, and if you're an American, you need to get out and vote. It's unlikely that we'll ever see another election this important in our lifetimes. I kinda hope we don't. I live in Oregon, one of the easiest states to vote in, and so, with no muss or fuss, I have already cast my vote for Hillary Clinton. I think that voting against Donald Trump is a perfectly valid response to his racism and misogyny and religious discrimination, but I didn't vote against Trump. I voted for Clinton. I voted for Clinton because she has pushed for gun legislation that would prevent criminals and terrorists and abusers from anonymously purchasing guns with no background checks. I voted for Clinton because she, like me, actually understands the science behind climate change. She knows that it is real, that humans are causing it, and she wants to do something about it. And she does not give credence to the 2% of the science community that disagrees with climate change, whose studies are laughably false, even to someone with as limited a science background as I have. On a similar note, Clinton is the only candidate who has unreservedly acknowledged that vaccines are a health benefit, they do not cause autism, and all children should get them. As someone who has lived with immunocompromised family members for a huge percentage of my life, this is important to me. Donald Trump, Gary Johnson, and Jill Stein have all spoken against vaccines, on which topic we are behind virtually every other well-developed nation in the first world. I was brought up to not only respect science, but to understand it, and the science is clear. Anyone who says otherwise is simply not telling the truth, intentionally or unintentionally. I'm voting for Clinton because she recognizes that stricter punishment in the justice system does not reduce crime, which is an observable fact, and she wants to focus on rehabilitation rather than incarceration. I also think Clinton is the only viable candidate who can be persuaded to tackle police brutality, which affects non-white Americans in vastly disproportionate numbers. Clinton also wants to close tax loopholes so that millionaires and billionaires pay at least the same tax rate that I do. That is a good first step towards reducing income inequality, which is a massive social problem in America. I'm voting for Clinton because she sees the citizens of other countries as people, not as rapists or murderers or criminals, and she realizes that they come to America wanting a better chance for themselves and their children, or to escape the violence in their own countries. I'm voting for Clinton because she has pledged to uphold and improve Obamacare, which has resulted in tens of millions of Americans getting health insurance when they couldn't afford it before. Also because of Obamacare, the rising cost of insurance has significantly slowed for the first time in years. Yes, it is more expensive than it used to be, but it is demonstrably less expensive than it would have been without Obamacare. Also because of Obamacare, I was able to get screened for cancer earlier this year when I found a lump in my throat. Before Obamacare, I would not have been able to afford that without going into considerable debt. And if I had had cancer, which I don't, thank God, I would have been ineligible for most insurance plans if it weren't for Obamacare. Clinton is going to keep Obamacare going and try and repair its flaws. And of course it has flaws. I'm not blind to that, but I think it is demonstrably better than what we had before. I'm also voting for Clinton because she has spent decades fighting for and protecting women's rights, because she knows they have historically had worse outcomes when it comes to violence, crime, abuse, and healthcare than men have. She didn't just say women's rights are human rights, she acted like it, and she strongly supports a woman's right to choose. Tens of millions of Americans will get or have gotten abortions in their life, including, long before I was born, my mother. One candidate believes that those women should be punished. Clinton does not. So yes, I did vote for Hillary Clinton, not against Donald Trump, and I genuinely hope you will vote for her as well. But most of all, I hope that you will get out and vote. Period, regardless. It is incredibly important, now more than ever. Our government is going to be doing something for the next 4 years, and we all have one voice that we can contribute to help determine what that's going to be. That's it for today, Rebel. When you vote, or if you have already, drop a comment. I would love to see how many of you out there are actually participating in our country. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on Friday. Bye!